Hey everyone, you're listening to the Alex Files. I'm Alex.
And I'm also Alex.
And this is episode 15. What? Quinceañera.
We're on like a third hand.
We're on a third hand. And if you're watching on YouTube, where you can stream all our episodes on the Alex Files Pod channel. Wow. Here we are. Can't believe we've made it. It's summertime.
Yeah, have we made plans for our quinceañera? Like, do we know what we're wearing? Like, have we booked the venue?
You know, we're really behind, but I think that today's episode topic theme really ties in with the glamour of it all, or sometimes not the glamour, you know? You want to tell our listeners what's up?
Well, today we're going to talk about a concept that we think is really new, but maybe has roots back in history. The concept of an influencer. Ooh,
yep.
the elusive.
You've seen them. It's such a, not a vague topic, but it can encompass so many things.
Got a lot of verticals under it. A lot of verticals.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of first judgments. So we're going to try to unpack like what it is, how it started, how do we feel about it. Not a one size fits all answer there.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, what is an influencer maybe? And this could be a two-part question. Like, what is an influencer, and maybe what comes to mind when you think of an influencer?
Okay. I'm just riffing. I don't have the Wikipedia definition of an influencer. So this is my take, but an influencer is somebody in the public eye who is perceived to be able to impact a large number of people on a lifestyle or products or choices. They influence your decisions about what you think you should be buying, wearing, and even doing, ranging from different cultures and aspects of our life, like being a mommy blogger or a really clean, healthy chef, or somebody, one of my favorites, you know, the fashion. Let's show you our outfit of the day. So, you know, they create these accounts and they show us what they're doing, and we look at it and all of its glamour and glory and filters and Photoshop and say, we got to be like that. What do we need to buy? What do we need to wear? So I think it's very tied to consumerism. And also just outward aesthetic that we want to achieve. Because when we look at those photos, they look really happy and awesome, right? So maybe if we get those things, we'll be like that too. So an influencer is the person who puts that out there, curates that for us, partners with the brands.
And there's so many, I mean, I think for each of us, we have different, like when you hear the term influencer, you imagine a certain thing. For some folks, it's like you imagine the Instagram post where someone's like, you know, pushing like gummy vitamins or detox tea or whatever the thing is, or a partnership with like Burger King, blah, blah, blah. But for others, maybe you think of, you know, a YouTube influencer, someone that's doing like unboxing videos.
That's a huge culture.
And I think, you know, there's this crossover. I mean, you can probably speak more to the kind of maybe some of the history of this, but the idea that like traditionally it's like, you know, also these almost like celebrity endorsements or people with influence partnering with a brand. So sometimes it can look like, you know, editorial, but it's an ad. So it's like advertorial.
That's a good word.
Which is like, you know, that's why now it's, well, because for legal reasons, but also just for transparency, like needing to let folks know that like, oh, this isn't just a regular post with no intentions, like this is an ad or this is a sponsored post, like I may be getting paid for this or getting something in exchange.
Yeah. And I think that's really important to know, because before that, so I think the first law that kind of made that a thing started with the first really popular vertical of influencers, when Instagram and Twitter was being born, the mommy bloggers, promoting these products on their blogs, and so many people following it and not realizing that maybe this product isn't the best or super safe, but there's money behind it. So in 2012, I believe there was a law created where you do have to state that. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what to try out there. This celebrity with perfect skin's telling me that this works. I might
Right.
want to try it, So I do appreciate that. And now I notice, hashtag ad or promoted at the top.
I think it's interesting too to think about like, people who traditionally, like when we were growing up, actors and actresses that you saw in different shows and movies, or people like different musicians endorsing certain products. And your entry point to them was through TV or movies or listening to like your CD player or your iPod. But now there's influencers who maybe they had an actual blog before, or maybe they just are like good looking and have some connections, and their rise to being
Or
an
some
influencer,
money.
yeah, or it's in their own bucket. It's not like they were never on a show, they never, like, it's just they can be, similar to reality stars, like famous for just the sake of being famous.
Yeah. So before, you're right. It was very much the mainstream media, the TV, the ads. And so what I thought of was the Celebrity Got Milk. That was a
Oh
ad
yeah.
in a paper magazine, but it was these celebrities promoting milk to influence us to drink it and buy it. And every famous person did it. But
Every single
now,
person.
anybody who has a cute outfit and this or that or an interest
Mm-hmm.
can create this following. Justin Bieber was on YouTube and discovered, and now is one of the biggest world pop stars. So that didn't exist before social media and the internet in the like mid aughts,
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that phenomenon rise has been wild and a little overwhelming.
Yeah, and it feels, very, very tied to social and like certain reality shows. And I mean, as someone that I mean, we all know this, I do love The Bachelor, and its whole franchise in its entirety. But a year ago, there was an article published about kind of the way that the show has become this like pipeline or entry point for a lot of contestants to become influencers after the fact, or if they already kind of are, but they're starting out, to really grow their following and make
Yeah.
that like they can quit their jobs doing whatever they're doing, like they're in sales, but now they're going to like quit their job at wherever they work and become an influencer full time, and like have these brand partnerships and charge different brands for different things. Maybe they go on Cameo, like it's a whole industry. But it was really in 2015 this writer of this Ringer article found that like the show became a pipeline for all these contestants. So I would say now it's like almost every single person that's been on the show has had some sort of partnership with some sort of brand. There's so many subgroups, whether it's wellness or technology or fast food,
Yeah.
or it runs the gambit.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people see being on a reality show as an opportunity to increase their following and their brand, to be able to do that if maybe being famous doesn't pan out, but like they're famous in this influencer way. Maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
not starring in movies, but they're making money solely off of that. And I know somebody personally that I went to the same college, we worked at a clothing store, who told me like, yeah, my plan is I want to go to LA and try to get on whatever reality show I can and get through. That was their idea of their path to success, even though they were pursuing a bachelor's degree in something, but they totally didn't see it as like, oh, I'm so desperate for love. Let me go on The Bachelor because I want love. They're like, I will get on any show I can to become, and I'm the same way. So I love, Married at First Sight, 90 Day. And sometimes I look up these participants' Instagrams and, there's products and professional photos, and they've totally become that influencer, and people like me who was rooting for them on the show will go and follow, and it's a cycle that we kind of play into a little bit sometimes, maybe.
Totally. And I thought it was interesting what you found out in your sleuthing, kind of about the history of an influencer kind of on a larger scale or lens, like beyond just kind of the social internet of it all. Would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me just, when did the idea of an influencer come about? And I was really thinking early aughts and our internet and our discussions of YouTube and stuff like that, that concept, that word. And it is true, the word influencer in the sense that we use it is kind of new to our lexicon in the modern age, but the concept of it is not. And I read this article that traced influencers back to Roman gladiators who endorsed products. And so, these are the heroes that the whole town goes and watches and roots for or roots against, and they were using those athletes as a way to promote products too. So then in 1760 there was a king who came up with their own tea set, I believe, and then everybody wanted this brand and the royal influence that kings and queens can have over not only products but just what religion the people follow. And then in America, classic golden Hollywood and TV, putting products and clothes together on celebrities was a way to get that known and out there. I think maybe Halston in the 70s was one of the first to think about, okay, how do I get more people to buy my dresses? Well, what if I put it on a celebrity they really like? They will look at that celebrity and say, I gotta have it. So that's definitely the concept of being an influencer. But I think the internet and social media just took that concept and it went from this, and they just took a bunch of paint and threw it against the wall. And there's just so many pockets of influence. And you know what? Maybe it's not even about a product. Maybe there's, political influencers and educational influencers I don't know, like Elon Musk. He influences people to think a certain way or to purchase Bitcoin in a certain way.
Yeah. Or, I guess that's influencing, but when different celebrities campaign for different candidates or their partnerships with different vote or die or getting folks registered to vote. I mean, those are all positive things that are not
that is good.
Not the same as endorsing maybe a gummy vitamin, but
detox tea.
Yeah. What are if you're thinking about, growing up in the 90s and this sort of predating the internet influencer culture that we know about, what are some maybe moments of, we didn't call them influencers back then, but things that predate the internet, moments in pop culture where you can kind of picture a celebrity with a product that kind of stood out to you or still kind of take up space in your brain?
Well, I really looked up to and loved everything Mary-Kate and Ashley. From their style to their haircuts. They were a year and a half older than me. So I was like, okay, I'm scared to be a teenager, but they make being a teenager look really cool. And then they came out with a line of clothes and stuff at Walmart, and I was obsessed. There wasn't a lot of inventory at any of the Walmarts I went to, but I was always going straight there, wanted to get something Mary-Kate and Ashley. So I definitely remember that. And then Skechers and Candy partnered with Amanda Bynes and Hilary Duff and these female actors that I really looked up to. but it was more like through ads and television commercials.
Yeah.
So a little bit less personal, like not everyday people. It was really just the celebrity connotation of that. What
I
about
know.
you? Do you
I
have
think
any?
about, I mean, I feel like a lot of it has to do with Pepsi for me, although I didn't as a kid, like,
Oh yeah.
so like the Britney Spears, like Pepsi for those who think young ad, where she was like, I feel like she was going through maybe it was probably a Super Bowl ad, but she's like going through the decades and,
Oh yeah, I
it was
remember
like
that one.
retro kind of, but then she went through all the things and was like dancing. Um, so that was one that stood out. And then another thing is that when I was, little and was obsessed with the Spice Girls, my dad was did some work, I think I want to say with Pepsi. I'm pretty sure he had to like travel for work and go. He went to London and he brought back all these like Spice Girl branded Pepsi like little like tchotchkes that were like one of them.
Yes.
I really hope we still have them, but one of them was like this limited edition empty Pepsi can with like Sporty Spice's whole bio like printed on the side.
Whoa.
And then also he brought back these like salt and vinegar crisps, like chips that were like Spice Girls branded. And
Love.
and I was just like and they tasted to me, they probably taste great, but like now, but they tasted so bad because they were like so weird. But their faces were all on them, and I was like, this is so cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Major shout out to the Spice Girls.
Seriously. They were ahead of the game with the girl power of it all.
They really were. Um, but I guess maybe I didn't notice how much. So like when you asked me this question, I was like trying to reflect, but it's like I'm sure there were so many more examples, but maybe I wasn't as aware of
Mm-hmm.
the push and the product push. And as I became a little bit more cognizant, studied marketing, and of course have now been oversaturated by the internet and Google ads that curate to my thoughts.
Right? Like even
I'm
if
more
you're not,
aware now, but
yeah, even if you're not like searching it on your phone or computer, like if you say it out loud on a Zoom, it will pop up. Or if
yes.
you say it out loud just when
Or
you're
like
talking and your phone's nearby, it'll pop up.
in a text. Yeah, it's scary.
It's very spooky. So, I guess in thinking about the influencers as we know them sort of now, and with this rise of, influencers now being cast in TV shows and movies and TikTok and all of it, like, how do you feel about it? Like, do you think this whole culture is helpful, hurtful, somewhere in the middle? Is it even, I mean, that's like very black or white.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking carefully here because I think that there are some benefits for people. But for me, the way I look at it, like as a bigger picture and a sociological study of our modern culture, um, I don't know if it's super helpful. It feels a little oversaturated. Even thinking about trying to make it as a musician or an artist or just an influencer. It just seems like that's what everybody's doing, and it's diluting the value in those things for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's detrimental when it comes to mental health because we're looking at these unrealistic images of
Mm-hmm.
bodies, of hair, of traveling, of anything that is actually sometimes physically impossible to obtain unless you get plastic surgery or use a video app to make your stomach look 3 inches shorter on each side. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't always actually unveil that to ourselves. Like, even though I know that that's not possible, I still look at that and you know, struggle with that. I think it perpetuates a lot of unhealthy beauty standards, unfortunately. But in the same time, there's a lot of like health influencers and mental health influencers. So with the good is the bad, and I think a lot of people believe anything they read too, so that's kind of scary. People promoting detox teas or products that are not helpful and taking advantage of people just because, oh, you look up to me, you think I'm cool, buy this, so I'll get a check.
Yeah.
Do I think that's great for society? No. But you're right. It's not that easy. It's not black and white. It's not all good. It's not all bad. And hey, that's a judgment I shouldn't even make, right? It is what it is. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
struggling here. Help me out.
I
What do you
know.
think?
I feel like you said it's super oversaturated. It's kind of like, I mean, I guess maybe people had the same criticism with the rise of like reality TV, which you and I love. The idea that like anyone can have their 15 minutes and be famous. Now it feels like everyone can be an influencer. And maybe that's from one side, it's like that's great because anyone can take this path and sort of be their own, make their own career path and that, but it just feels like it when everyone's doing it, it means nothing. And like I I don't know, like I kind of just miss the days when it was clear like this is Britney. She has worked hard. Again, free Britney. Like she has put in the work. Like, or there's this like actor and he's doing this and they're making intentional choices or their management is or their team about which brands to partner with. And like I already respect them. So it's more, I don't know. I just feel like I don't respect influencers at all, really. And I don't know, like maybe it's bad, but like I'm more if there's I totally get like certain celebrities or TV stars like partnering with certain brands and doing a couple posts on their Instagram throughout the month or year. Like I don't know if you're like the star of whatever show, like some HBO show, but like I am more inclined to like believe that than some random like Gen Z girl who's like famous on TikTok
Who
and
now has a drink at Dunkin' Donuts for no reason. That
yeah,
actually irritates me
yeah, and I'm kind of
because
just like, okay, like I don't know. I know it is what it is, but it seems like at some point down the line, like it's gonna burst and like
I
it's
agree.
gonna mean
How
nothing.
much can this bullshit meter like
Yeah, I'm just
contain?
like, okay, cool. Like one, yet another. It's like it used to be, when everyone's like, oh, like I'm gonna get a tattoo. Like that was the like alternative thing to do, or like the like unique thing. And now it's like everyone has them. So like, what's the point?
And like looking at like motivational reasons, like why are influencers influencing, right?
Hmm.
Because they have this spiritual calling and they want to make people feel good or help people, or do they want to project this image so people like them and then they can use that like to make money and not have to work and look cool and go hang out at the hype house?
Right. And it's
Like are
also
you really
like
here for me? No, you're serving your own needs mostly.
I feel like it's also a breeding ground for like scams and like I don't know,
Yeah.
sketchy stuff, harassment, abuse, like I don't know, like just weird stuff. And like I don't know, do I trust an influencer to be like can you imagine being like roommates with an influencer and like I don't know if they know how to do like basic stuff, like just life skills, street smarts. I don't know.
uh I can tell you from personal experience now that I don't think I could even like hang out with one consistently because
Yeah.
I don't have that mindset and that outlook or the desire to be um, so curatedly perfect. And actually, my TikTok, I like actively try to just be as raw and whatever as about
Mm.
it. Like no makeup, my hair is frizzy, the angle's bad, but like this is funny and this is my content. Like I'm going against the grain here. Like to each their own, but that's not something that brings a lot of genuine value or happiness to my life. And I can have that without having to record every second of it and post it and check all the comments every 10 seconds. Do I like Instagram and posting about my life? Yeah, it's my digital journal. It's a way to stay in touch with friends and family who aren't here and share moments. But there are people who cannot put their phones down and live in the present moment. There are people who are just too shy and insecure about the way they look to post this photo and have to delete it, or can't go to the grocery store without makeup. And like, I don't want to live like that.
Totally. Well, and I think on the flip side, like I know you mentioned like beauty standard stuff and editing photos, but I know too there's lots of different pockets of like, fashion or Instagram influencers or whatever who are like trying to raise more awareness about
Yeah,
like
that's kind of
like
new.
body image, like what a healthy body looks like that might not be how you pictured it or have seen it with like all these different curated images, or maybe they're raising awareness about, you know, being disabled or like mental health stuff. So I think there's also this like, it's again, it's like such a gray area. Like it's not all good and bad, but there are these sort of new subgroups in it, I think, that are kind of bubbling up.
Yeah, and I think that's great too, because it can give a voice to people who, when they look into the majority of this influencer social world being pushed on you, can feel, I don't see any of me here. I can't relate to
Hmm.
this, right? And then somehow the algorithm finds them a really empowering video of someone that they can relate to. I know I've personally enjoyed watching those videos and reminders about all of the ways that things are faked and tricked, so that we got to shake this image, or at least I still have to, of like what we're supposed to look like, man. Like, just chill.
I know.
So I'm
It's,
focusing on being healthy and stuff, but then you see these, and we didn't have that growing up. We had magazines, we had TV, but
oh
it
yeah,
wasn't constantly in front of us at every second while we're looking at our,
no.
you know,
We didn't have the constant, like before bed, you were not scrolling on your phone. You were like journaling or reading, or maybe you were, I mean, even if you were flipping through like 17 or
17,
something.
Teen Bop.
Yeah, like at least it still wasn't in your face and it wasn't an endless scroll. Like at some point the magazine ends.
And like, those are celebrities, so it's like, that that's a different level, and that's Hollywood and that's glamour. But on your
Yeah.
Instagram, and it's, this person you used to go to high school with, or the little sister of somebody, that's just like, what? And so these more, seemingly regular people starting to just be unachievable perceptions as well. It starts to be like, well, wait, why am I not like that? I guess regular people can be like that too, and then become celebrities. It's like,
Mhm.
but all that happens because people continue to buy into it
Yeah.
and like it and buy the product. So, like, where are we going from here? How will this burst? Are we going to move past it, or will we always rely on this?
I
Look
don't
at
know.
me, like me, buy
Yeah.
my products. I'm cooler than everybody. You want to be like me.
I
I don't
mean, I
know.
think it's like also part of it is like the power comes from the platforms themselves. So if like, I know Instagram has mentioned, a lot over the past year or so, like removing likes so that you're not seeing the number of likes on a post. And I know that like for all
People
these
would hate
different,
that.
I know for a lot of these different platforms, like whatever, the algorithm changes all the time, but like I think that removing likes and it would just say like, this person and others liked this, but you're not seeing like how many likes. I think that would also, I mean, influencers would hate it, but like for people, for the viewers, the consumers' mental health, like it would be like, oh, okay.
Evening the playing ground a little bit.
Yeah.
Taking
And
that comparison away where you automatically can't help but notice.
right. I mean, who knows?
500
Maybe,
likes?
who knows?
Oh,
Maybe it would then be all about comments. I don't know. But I think that it's also like if these platforms are only going to grow, but like, yeah, the power comes from these platforms themselves too. And that all these influencers rely on them so much.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's very strange. Um, I don't, yeah, I don't know where it goes from here. I mean, I think at some point it has to get, and maybe it is already at a ridiculous point right now, but I think it's going to have to just blow
I
up
think
at
it
some point.
is. It's like, dude, like seeing all these like privileged people just get all of this money and content for just not even being that wonderful or talented. It just blows my mind how people buy into
Yeah,
that. But it's society. We want to achieve connection to humans and be the best in society and feel confident. And it's like,
I know. I guess it's also like those people that we cringe about and are exhausted by, like they've cracked the code for the moment. They've cracked the code, but there are still people out there who are like hustling old school and who have real talent and who have real spark and are like trying to make it, whether it's through writing or acting or sing, or whatever it is, through art, like through cooking, like they still have a place. And at the end of the day, like I just think that in our hearts and guts, we will respect them and value their work more than any influencer.
well, I hope so. But what annoys me is like the influencers are noise canceling that out, and that
Yeah.
these good, talented pockets of things and bands and musicians and writers and things, it's like it's so diluted, and then it's hard to tell what's real and what's not, what was bought and what was earned. And, you know, it's like oversaturating for like the actual talent because money speaks so loud, right? You have money, you can buy yourself a music video, studio time, airtime, a manager. You got money, you can do anything. And talent and money don't always go along. So a lot of this talented content um not getting the airtime, not getting in the algorithm. So
I guess, well, if it's money that's being put behind their social, you can tell when that's happening. Like that is something that you see on the viewers end as being promoted.
well, the accounts, people pay for likes, people pay for articles written about their music, people pay for for YouTube likes. I mean, it's all a business. And I got so discouraged realizing that in music, people, and I'm like, what? No, no. Like, we're not buying 3,000 YouTube clicks from, no,
Well, and those like pay for whatever are so, again,
pay to
spammy.
play.
They're spammy and scammy. Like all of those. Those are like, yeah, just sketch. I feel like that's how you get hacked. Okay, so as we kind of think about um I don't know, like this influencer world that we're in, and I know it can be overwhelming and a lot, but like would love to kind of wrap up our episode on, I think, a new maybe tradition that we have, which is like a little visualization exercise.
Love
So,
it.
um, if you could be, any sort of influencer, what type of influencer would you be and why?
My gut, my first instinct
Mm-hmm.
is art and music. If I
Mm,
could blow up for, how like there's just like illustrators, painters, and stuff that their art goes viral.
yeah.
And I don't know if that counts as an influencer because I don't know if they sell products or stuff, but just I would
Mm,
love that. Or a travel influencer.
oh
Someone
my
like Shay
God.
Mitchell, who just is so fabulous and goes to these incredible places and makes these vlogs about traveling. That would be cool.
Like, hey everyone. A lot of you have been asking.
A lot of you have been asking what I do when I go on an airplane. So like I sit in the chair. I only drink bottled water. It's not
I try to
safe.
get an aisle seat.
I like a window with like a pillow so I can like sleep. But if you have long legs, an aisle may be better.
Actually, I don't even need to worry about that because I'm in first class.
Actually, I have my own jet because I'm
Oh.
sponsored through
Hmm.
Bagel Bites. And sorry to be like cliche like that, but that's the joke, that's the meme, and that's also like a lot of content out there. So I'm not trying to
And
be rude. I'm just trying to emulate what
totally.
I've
And
seen.
like, yeah, Bagel Bites is out there sponsoring private jets. Like, we don't know. We don't know what that life is like.
I wanted two like opposites. So like
Right?
private jet,
Bagel Bites.
Bagel Bites.
Private jet, Hot Pockets.
Okay, that feels even closer to reality.
Oh
But
my
so what about you?
God.
If you're going to be an influencer for something, what would your
Yeah.
go-to be?
I think it would be, I mean, whatever the writing equivalent of influencer, that would be cool. But travel sounds pretty good to me. So does being like, I mean, I don't think I would want to be like a food blogger influencer. Like I'm happy to like cooking is so fun, but I'm also equally happy to like be a taste tester influencer or
I like that.
yeah, or someone who's like, oh, I am an influencer because I just like hang out with like all these baby sloths or baby animals and I can like tell you all about them. You
Oh
know what I
gosh, I'm
mean?
so torn because both of those options sound amazing.
Well, we can do it together.
Yes, I'll book the Costa Rica flights now for the sloth journey.
Yes, the sloth
Um,
sanctuary. There's a wait list. I've definitely looked into it before.
so I like that. Like, being an influencer, sometimes it's like you can be really niche about it. So, yeah, the beauty,
Mm-hmm.
the physical health, the fashion, but like, what about the folks who hang out specifically with baby animals around the
Right?
world, can tell you about them? So there you go. You can combine the traveling with baby animals
Right?
and then be an influencer because you write about it. And we're always
Oh
waiting
my
for the new
God.
blog. What are we learning about, African gray parrots this week?
Tell me about what is the favorite Beatles album from this baby sloth?
But then you're also like dynamic and have two blogs. So while you're in Costa Rica, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
taste tests of the islands, you know, flavor. And we're just getting those one liners from you on Twitter, and then it's gone viral. And we're just like, oh my God, what does she think about this? Got you on YouTube doing taste test videos. I've got this whole idea.
Wow. Oh my
Sorry, I didn't
God.
mean to take that and run with that
No,
too
you
hard.
ran so far away. No, but you ran to the right places. And yeah, I'm glad that baby animals can be incorporated into all of this. I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to start with baby goats and baby alpaca on my journey, maybe, because we
Oh,
can meet up and Alex do baby animal. I mean, who knows?
oh my God. Well, you never know, honestly. What are some parting words you have for our listeners on yeah, on this influencer journey that we've been on?
Um, I don't want to be so negative, but I feel like we got to keep ourselves safe. And I would say be aware of how much you're being influenced and how that makes you feel. If it
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel empowered and inspired, then you're probably participating in the right kind of influence content that's good for you. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling bad about yourself, inadequate, and comparing yourself, let's evaluate that and check the facts on that. Maybe look into how real some of these standards and things that you're seeing is, and curate what you see a little differently. Mute, unfollow, put the phone down, participate in real life, and know that you're the main character regardless of how many likes you get.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the biggest influence on yourself. So
Yeah,
be
I
safe,
would
have
say,
fun, but
yeah,
be
be
careful.
safe. Take everything with a grain of salt. It's easier said than done to do that, but like, I mean, like you said, it's totally valid to like leave your phone, put it on airplane mode, like take a beat. It can be really overwhelming and a lot to sift through all that noise. So, just a reminder that like it's it may not seem like it, but there's a whole lot going on away from our phones, like out in the real world. There's so many adventures and stories to be had. And so just, I don't know, try to remember that. And while this is our reality for now, like there are lots of different things happening around you. And who knows what the future looks like? This bubble may burst and just one day at a time.
Yeah, and there are things like places that are places to experience and not just places that are like photo shoot opportunities. Get your pics, right? Do your
Yeah.
thing and then put your phone down and live it.
Live it in the moment because that's what's going to stick in your brain, not like how many click throughs or swipe ups
and
you've got.
and you know what? Disclaimer, no shame. to the people who like you love to just be filming everything. Like a lot of people like that too. And if that's how you like to experience life, that's fine. But like there is a line between focusing so much on the content creation versus experiencing life as it comes too. So
Totally.
because
Wow.
I like to take pictures of a lot of stuff too. So I get it.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah.
But not filming myself as I narrate my life through every moment. So I don't know.
Yeah. And you have to be careful with that. Cause like, what if you're standing on the cliff and then boosh, no more selfie time for you. Do you know what I mean?
And then just boosh.
And then boosh. Good night. Wow. Well, thank you all for tuning in to episode 15, our quinceañera episode on influencer culture. We have so many more files to get through.
Yeah, we're planning our 16th, our Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
We're trying to get on the MTV reality show so they can film our journey to our Sweet 16 party, but you're all invited.
You've probably heard of it.
Yeah, we can't wait to continue to grow. Thank you for listening.
And we'll see you in the cabinets. Bye.
Bye.